Hi, this is Majin, and welcome to some comic reviews. Today, we're going to be talking about Justice League, Batman, Wolverine the X-Men, Avengers, Black Widow, all new X-Men, and Origins too. I could not get through all of the books today. I was so swamped with other things, I couldn't get to do enough reading, and I didn't want to wait and start uploading stuff at like 10 or 11 just to get more books, so I can just make another video later. Anyways, Forever Evil, Justice League 27, we see the new $6 million man, and he is Cyborg 2.0. He is rebuilt, rebooted, and he's ready to party. Now, I have to admit, when I first started reading this book, I was just done with this thing so quickly. You know, first of all, we have this Doom Patrol that shows up for the very first time, and I was actually, I'll admit, I was excited. You know, we see some new superheroes, and they're quickly taken out and killed. And I was just like left going, oh, that didn't go well. And I was just kind of interested with them, and they're gone. And then we go through this whole story of him, Cyborg being rebuilt. And this part I didn't mind at all because this was actually a really good uh, tie-in in terms of Cyborg and his dad, and they iron out some things. And I thought all that was really good, very well done. You know, that part was great. And then we find out at the very end that the Metalman failed, and we're gonna find out why. And I'm just like going, why would you hype the Metalman when you failed? And then I think, oh, I understand. There's the new 2.0 version of Metalman that are gonna come out, and that's gonna save the day. So we just have to be patient. Overall, this I can't really see a lot of people jumping for joy at how great this issue is, but if anything, I'm very pleased that they're moving forward with the storyline. We're not getting secret origins for other characters any longer. We're seeing a new version of Cyborg, and he's actually on the move, and he's starting to do stuff. And for me, that's really the most important thing, is that we're moving the story along, and we're keeping it somewhat entertaining. Um, Also, like I said, I think the relationship between him and his father, a lot of issues were unresolved, and this was actually a good time to get that taken care of. Some secrets were revealed, and overall, I was pleased, but I can't say that I thought this was like the greatest thing known to mankind. Batman 27. This was another one that had some mixed feelings on, and when I say by mixed feelings, it's not really horrible feelings at all. I thought the art was really well done, and I thought on top of that, it's the color palette that they used, and because this wasn't quite like what you would normally expect from Capullo, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I really enjoyed reading the artwork, and I mean looking at the art. I loved how the Batman had his basically the way his cowl type worked. So all that was great. Now, also, I think that this was actually a much needed issue because this was basically setting the foundation between the relationship between Batman and Commissioner Gordon, or James Gordon, since he's not really the commissioner yet. But I thought that all that part was really good. Now, actually, is he? I can't remember. I think he was the commissioner. Anyways, regardless, I digress. Now, all of that part was good because, like I said, it really explained things about the jacket, the coat, I mean, and it was all much needed stuff. And same thing later on with Jarvis. It was really some nice dialogue between Jarvis and Bruce, and some of his motivations and why he acts. So I really liked all that kind of stuff. Um, Also, the one other thing I thought was kind of interesting was what they chose for the last page, because we know this is Batman, but the choice of a purple glove, I mean, part of that is, I guess you can say that it's Enigma or the Riddler, but another part of me is thinking too, that's like very Jokerish too. So I don't know if that's going to mean something later. Why wasn't this the book of the week? Well, I'll be honest, I thought this was like a stronger issue in terms of the 0 year run. I just enjoy the Invaders better, and that's pretty much it. But in all honesty, I think you're really going to see this Batman um, score some tens, and you're going to see this book featured on a lot of sites because a lot of things, a lot of important issues were ironed out, and they made the Riddler a little bit more of a threat than what he like initially you would think that a guy dropping riddles everywhere would be. So I don't mean this as a slight of it at all in terms of Snyder and Capullo, in terms of this. It's not even favoritism. I just enjoy the Invaders more. Okay, Wolverine and the X-Men. Okay, there's two parts of the story. One is the kids. The other part is Scott and Wolverine. The kid part of it, just this is what you want to do. Just carve it out. Pointless, doesn't mean jack crap. Um, the good is the dialogue between Wolverine and Scott. They that alone made this issue save the issue, so to speak. And that part was gold. They really ironed out a lot of baggage. They get drunk. Wolverine's probably actually getting drunk because he doesn't have his healing powers to combat the alcohol. And I guess it almost gets to the point where you can tell that they're not really as hostile towards each other anymore. But that's not going to be the case because then somebody else later on is going to fire that right up again. But anyways, this wasn't a great read except for that one section. Avengers 25. Oh, this one. I don't know. There are going to be people raging all over the place because, in a sense, this is like a weird one because it's it, it's kind of a mix of all new X-Men where you had the X-Men, the young X-Men being teleported to the future, and Forever Evil, and you're combining it into one storyline, and that's what this is, and that's why I think you're going to see some people going, Hickman, what are you doing? You're swiping stories, and you're not even acknowledging that this is potentially a Forever Evil swipe. What you're doing is you're saying, well, you're doing some sleight of hand and saying, well, it's the new X-Men. Basically, what's happening is AIM is going and doing some shady stuff, and they open up a portal to the multiverse, and they pull through something, and that happens to be the Avengers. But this is not the Avengers that you normally think. I mean, think about it this way. AIM says, we are AIM, and Cap is not throwing down. That was your first clue that this is not the Avengers that you know and love. Then we get the clue, okay, these Avengers are coming from where you have the world's universes, colliding against each other. So that part was fine. But then you have Thor going, you mortals, why aren't you bowing? And he kills civilians. So that's where I'm getting from my Forever Evil thing. They think that this is basically their Avengers world. Now, granted, they know that they're not on their world, but it's their world now. So this is what I'm saying. This is kind of like a combination of things. And there is a death right at the very beginning. They're trying to mislead you, but I'm not revealing who the person is just because I figure we'll let that be a surprise. Anyways, overall, I'm really torn because on one hand, this story interests me. On the other hand, I'm seeing where this came from, and that's where I'm getting confused. And I'm going to call it out. This is a Forever Evil type swap, or swipe, I should say. But um, we'll see where it leads. Black Widow #2. I enjoyed it. Didn't even know that my comic store never got the first one. I mean, let me rephrase my. I don't know. Did I get the first one? I might have. I don't remember it. See, that's how many books I get. I don't even remember if I bought the first issue. But anyways, I thought this was actually a really good read. The art was really good. I liked the fact that it was a little bit different than what you would normally see in a normal comic book. And at first I thought I was not going to like it, but I actually started to warm up to it. And, even though they used these overall, like, wash tones, I warmed up to it pretty quickly. The story was pretty decent overall. She's basically out to save somebody. It's a mission gone horribly wrong. And there's also a nice little storyline with the lawyer, which I thought was really good too. And overall, it's a decent read. I think I'm going to add this to my file. I enjoyed it. Now I'm going to have to go digital for the first one. Okay, All New X-Men number 22. Now this one, I really enjoyed it. This was really close to also being a book of the week, but I'll be honest with you, the Batman book was stronger than this one. The thing that really made this book really good was the dialogue and lack of dialogue between Jean Grey and Scott Summers. This was classic, storytelling in terms of characters, the way they talk to each other, and this was great. I really loved it. I love the awkwardness on Angel's face. All that was great. I loved all of that. I loved Iceman sitting in laying down in the snow making angels. All of that was great. You know, everything after that was pretty much okay. We've seen this before, so that doesn't really wow me. The ending, of course, has the Guardians of the Galaxy coming to save the day, but they're too late. Overall, it was an enjoyable read. I liked it. It was fun, and I'm really crossing my fingers that this is going to get good later. And it's good to see that Immerman's back, because I really love his art. Okay, Origin 2-2. Ugh, the first issue was so freaking good. This issue was a letdown. Now keep in mind, when I say it's a letdown, I don't mean this as if this was a bad read. I'm saying it's a letdown is because there was no way that they could make this issue as... there's no way they could make this better. And in fact, we even get a visit by Doctor Strange, or Tony Stark, but Doctor Strange. Somebody who looks like him, at least. Now, the one thing I guess I was really enjoying the read so up to this point in the storyline, and then the Marauders came, and then I'm like, why do you have to tie in everything, from the current to the past? You don't. You should have just called them something else, and everything would have been just great. And, they don't even have powers, because this is pre-powers. They're just learning of mutants and things like that. Basically, what's going on is you have a group of people who are looking for something. Now, the Doctor Strange clone, he's looking for a mutant, and they suspect that the thing that killed the white polar bear, quote-unquote, is the one that's a mutant. So that's what everybody's tracking right now. Now, you have somebody that's based on science and technology, which that's why I'm thinking it's Tony Stark, but he really does look like Doctor Strange, too. And he's even he's Dr. Essex or something like that. And then the other side is a group of normal humans, so to speak. One girl I suspect isn't, because for the way she can tame animals. And then you have Sabretooth. So you know where that's going to go. Now, the ending was a little bit on the surprising side, but we'll see where the story goes from that. Overall, I thought... Okay, overall, I'm enjoying Origin 2. For me, I'm kind of looking at it as an Elseworlds type story, at least for right now. But even though I know it's not, but I think the art's good. Gillen is doing a good job writing it, and like I said, that first issue was so well done that the only way you can go is go down, and it went down, but it's not horrible down. This would really be an 8 or a 9 type book. You're going to see a lot of people who are going to enjoy this, so I don't want to make it sound like it's horrible. Anyways, this is some reviews for you. Let me get you some codes. Oh, I did read Avengers World 2, but I'll be honest with you, nothing really newsworthy happened in it to make it review worthy. Let's get you this. Is there a code? Yep, digital. And here's Forever Evil. And we'll give you, I'll give you this one. I'll have more reviews too, because I wanted, there's some independent books I wanted to review from last week. So watch for that, and then I'll try to do another run. Anyways, if you have any comments or questions, let me know. Rate the video, like the Facebook link, Crunchyroll anime reviews. I'll have more reviews later. So, till next time.